King Robert the Inbred. Few rulers have left such an infamous mark on history as King Robert the Inbred, the self-proclaimed sovereign of Treasure Island. Born with more titles than brains, Robert's bloodline was a tangled mess of questionable decisions and familial favoritism. His reign was as absurd as it was tragic, riddled with his peculiar obsessions, tyrannical rule, and a penchant for Blackstone construction that forever marred the island's once pristine beauty. Robert was born to King Barnaby the Bold and Queen Edwina the Absent-Minded, an unfortunate pairing of first cousins who shared a fascination for overly decorative hats. From a young age, Robert displayed an uncanny ability to hoard anything shiny. By the time he was 10, he had amassed a collection of spoons so large that his parents declared the dining hall off-limits to anyone without a torch and map. Nicknamed the Inbred by both his allies and enemies, Robert inherited his parents' wealth but little of their charm, and even less of their sense. When he seized the throne, many thought his eccentricities would fade with age. Instead, they blossomed into full-blown lunacy. Treasure Island was once a paradise of purple grass, radiant rainbows, and shimmering shores, a place so beautiful that poets wept at the mere sight of it. But Robert saw none of its beauty. Instead, he saw potential for improvement. Under his reign, every inch of the island was replaced with Blackstone, a dreary material he believed to be the pinnacle of sophistication. The crowning jewel of Robert's reign was his infamous Rainbow Bridge, a colossal and utterly unnecessary structure that spanned the island's largest lagoon. To build it, Robert imprisoned the island's most talented sorcerers, forcing them to harness the power of rainbows to fuel his construction. The bridge itself was a glittering and gaudy sight, with no purpose other than to connect the royal palace to a treasure vault that Robert never allowed anyone, not even himself, to enter. Life for the people of Treasure Island was grim. Most of the island's population were prisoners, enslaved under Robert's oppressive rule. To maintain control, he instituted absurd laws, including a tax on smiling which he considered suspicious, and mandatory attendance at his weekly treasure show, where he paraded his growing collection of nonsensical trinkets, including a golden anchor he claimed could stop time. It couldn't. Despite his tyranny, Robert was oddly paranoid. He surrounded himself with an army of parrots trained to squawk out random phrases like, "All hail the king," or "Stop looking at me," whenever he entered a room. This did little to inspire loyalty among his people, but it provided endless entertainment for visiting pirates who mocked him mercilessly. One special day, King Robert decided to show off his bridge, the neighboring island. Robert, however, was insanely drunk at the time and took a dive straight into the ocean. Though he survived the fall, his reputation did not. Stories of the king who slipped on his own bridge spread across the seas, and Robert became a laughingstock. His once loyal parrots turned against him, squawking insults and mocking his every move. Treasure Island remains a strange and eerie place, its beauty lost to Robert's obsession with Blackstone and rainbows. But among pirates and sailors, his tale lives on as a cautionary story about greed, hubris, and the dangers of letting an inbred hoarder rule an island.